Yuki thrashed hard against the bed, fighting against Shinobu and Giyu with incredible strength. She was growling intensely, her teeth growing razor sharp as she fought back. Both Giyu and Shinobu were worried about what they were seeing, but Shinobu looked across the room to her medicine cabinet. She glanced, seeing the open bottle of an experimental medicine she had been meaning to test. It was specifically made of Giyu's request for another demon he had found about a year back. She had never gotten to test it since the demon's brother had refused, with the mention she could possibly die from it. Shinobu glanced up at Giyu and asked, "Do you think you could hold her down on your own for a few minutes?" Giyu looked up to her, his face filled with confusion and concern.
What do you plan to do?
Remember that medicine I had made for you when you asked? I want to see if it'll work on her. His eyes widened hearing her say that, his expression growing fearful.
But what if it's too potent? It could kill her. Imagine what Corey would say if the medicine failed.
Giyu, we don't even know if Corey is alive. This is the only chance Yuki has to survive. If it doesn't work, we'll have to kill her anyway. Giyu knew she was right about that. He didn't know if Corey was alive or not, looking back and forth between the two women before sighing.
Fine. I'll hold her down as long as I can. Hurry and get it ready.
Shinobu nodded and let go of Yuki, quickly making her way to her medicine cabinet. Yuki began to thrash harder, making Giyu tighten his grip. Her strength seemed to only be growing exponentially, making Giyu look at Shinobu in panic. Shinobu grabbed the vial of medicine off of one of the shelves, as well as a syringe from a drawer. She pulled a small amount of the purple liquid out of its vial, before quickly making her way back to the bed. She sent a worried glance up at Giyu before taking a deep breath. Are you ready? He met his gaze with Shinobu, his face straining from the amount of force he was using to hold Yuki down.
Do it. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold her down.
Shinobu took in another deep breath. She began to hold Yuki down again, getting the syringe in position. Without wasting any more time, she carefully inserted the needle into Yuki's neck, injecting the purple liquid into the vein. After a few minutes, Yuki's muscles began to relax, her strength weakening. The glow from her eyes began to dim before completely going dark. Yuki's body relaxed into the bed, slowly coming back to reality. She slowly came to, looking up to see Giyu and Shinobu's worried expressions. She tried to sit up, but Shinobu lightly grabbed her, easing her up on the bed. Here, let me help. As she fully sat up, she noticed that the pain in her body was completely gone. She took off the bandages from her arms, inspecting them to find every cut and bruise was gone. She looked up at Shinobu, her eyes filled with fear. Shinobu? What just happened? Do you not remember? All I remember was a sharp pain in my head, then the both of you looking down at me just now from when I regained consciousness. Did something else happen?
The medicine. Do you think it erased her memory of her demonic outburst?
Yuki looked to Giyu, her eyes now filled with terror. What do you mean? Demonic outburst? I'm not a demon! She shouted, her eyes welling up with tears. Yuki, calm down. Shinobu softly spoke, sitting down on the edge of her bed. I know it's a lot to take in, and it may sound scary, but we might be able to use this to our advantage. Yes, you may have demon blood in your system, but if you were a full demon, you would have already died. What? I wouldn't have died from the injuries, though. She tried to reason.
That is correct. You wouldn't have died from your injuries.
Giyu chimed in, sitting down in a chair.
But you would have died the moment you were taken out into the sun.
The sun? I was in the sun and survived?
Indeed. You may be a demon, but not a full one. You have powers like them, even though you don't know how to use them. But we both believe with proper training, you'll be able to help us fight demonkind.
But I still tried to attack and eat you both? What if I ate Corey without realizing it? According to Gyu, the only bodies found inside your home were both of your parents. Your sister's body wasn't found inside, or nearby, so we can only assume that she was taken rather than eaten, Shinobu explained, trying to ease Yuki's mind. Even if she is alive, she's still MIA. You expect me to be able to control these powers and use them for good? I don't even know how to control them. Gyu and Shinobu looked at each other. Shinobu could see Gyu wanted to ask Yuki something, and she knew exactly what the question was. Shinobu gave Gyu a nod of approval. Gyu nodded back, then asked Yuki,
"Would you like help learning how to control them?"
Yuki looked up in shock hearing the question, but her eyes lit up in excitement. You'd really help me do that? Of course! We'd both be pleased to help you learn. Not only in controlling those powers of yours, but also in the art of a Nichiren blade. Yuki's eyes lit up even more, hearing they would both help her, but her smile quickly faded, thinking about her powers. But what if I lose control while you both are training me? I could possibly hurt you guys. That's what this medicine is for. Shinobu spoke, holding up the vial from before. This medicine will help you contain that urge to eat human flesh. I'll have you take it every morning. If you do start losing control, however, I'll always have it on hand to inject you with it. That way it will take effect quicker than drinking it. I see. Then yes, I'd love to learn. I promise to use these newfound powers to benefit humans. I'll never use my powers to harm innocent people, Yuki said, her features filled with excitement.
We still have to get confirmation from Ubuyashiki-san, but once we get approval, we can begin your training.
Yuki nodded in understanding, hoping this Ubuyashiki person would approve the start of her training.